Fellas and gals, how you doing? I'm up here in beautiful Pennsylvania with my friend Doug, and we're going to do the follow-up of the first Kukri session I had when we talked about them. We're going to talk about it a little bit more and put them in some action, okay? And then down the road, Doug's going to also talk a little bit about his new knives he's had made by Mike Wallace, and we're going to compare them with his old to his new. And we're going to talk about a Kukri that a friend is having a sheath made for. Let you take a look at that design and some other neat stuff that Doug has available. Okay, we'll be looking at you soon. Thanks.
How you doing, guys and gals? It's Doug Wilson from Yellow Hawk Custom Kydex. Welcome back. I'm going to turn this video right now over to Bob, and he's going to play with some Kukris. Koo Koo for Kukris. Bob?
How you doing? This is the second part of a small introduction I did a couple months ago. Anyway, let's get right down to it. The design of the Kukri is used to cut or to chop. It also can stab, as you can see here. This is one of the Condor Kukris that Alan Kay used on a loan, and we'll talk about a loan a little bit later. But anyway, this is a full tang. I think it's 1095 steel, and it's got a nice mahogany type handle on it. Very sharp, very nice Kukri. Another style that I like, and this goes out to Nico Bear and Peter Jacobson, because they're my Kukri buddies, okay? Another style that I like is
Jacob Peterson.
Jacob Peterson, yeah, I keep getting him mixed with somebody else. Anyway, this is called a Panawal design. This is about an 8-inch Kukri by Gurkha House. As you can see, it's a full tang and has a rosewood type handle on it also, okay, and it's pinned. Here's its big brother right here, another Panawal, okay, about 10 inches long. These are anywhere from 10 millimeters, 8 millimeters thick across the back, sometimes 12. Very nice knives, rosewood handle, so forth. This one here is from Gurkha House. I got from Jacob Peterson. He's been selling a couple of these. This is the knife that's issued to the Gurkha, along with a dress Kukri, which has a polished horn handle, as well as a nice, really polished sheath. Okay, and you can see the thickness back here, and everything's forward. These knives, like I said in my other video, want to cut. They have inertia, okay? They have ergonomics, because they fall in the hand to cut, okay? A straight or linear type blade doesn't have that. If you don't have a belly, if you don't have a focal point, which is right here where you drive this through, it's like using a wedge. When you come down on the wedge to split wood, it's centered, okay? It's not beating on this side, then beating on this side, beating on this side, and beating on this side, because it's just a straight line, okay? Straight lines have a tough time cracking things and busting things and wedging them apart, okay? Although a wedge is straight, but it's made for splitting, okay? Also, when you split wood, you don't want to go against the grain. Everything is better with going with the grain. So the grain runs this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, okay? So it's easier to cut because that's the way it grew. The ring grew, so forth, okay? So anyway, these knives fall in the hand and they just want to lop. They just want to chop, okay? So we're going to demonstrate some things, but first I want to show a Kukri that Doug will talk about a little bit.
This Kukri was sent to me by Bark River Knives. It's actually a Tops 7.0 Kukri. It was a stock Tops Kukri at one time, and Mr. Weston Knight had Bark River redo this Kukri into a custom piece. All right, so they reground it. They put a nice convex edge grind on it with a 0-degree bevel, new micarta scales, red liners, beautiful Kukri. I'm getting ready to throw a badass sheath system on this for Mr. Knight. But I wanted to show you guys this because I tell you, this is one of the prettiest Kukris I've ever seen. All right, they really did a bang-up job on it at Bark River Knives. So Mr. Mike Stewart, Mr. Jim Stewart, kudos, brothers.
Yeah, that knife has a lot of blade forward. It really is a good chopper. It wants to fall forward in the hands. And also the ergonomics of this knife, as you can notice, has the curved handle. There's some other knives out there that have a straight linear edge and then they have a curved handle back here. I don't understand that. That doesn't work with physics, okay? you want a rounded angle this way, okay, so that everything is taken up by the belly, okay, not straight across. Also, there's less hand fatigue with the ergonomics of this handle as well as these handles. When you put a wrist strap around your hand to use these knives, they should just fall, okay? They should just hang, and they just hang. I can choke back here and get a good chop out of this thing, okay? And it just goes. There's no action there. Everything comes from my elbow, all right, or my wrist. See, wrist, okay? These knives want to chop. They can stab too, okay? They will stab. All right, there you go. All right, so the knife inertia, the weight forward, the ergonomics, this makes it a consummate cutting, chopping, sticking type of knife. And as my friend Nico Bear said, hey, this is the Swiss Army knife of the Gurkha, okay? One other thing I'd like to talk about real quick is this is the knife I promised you my father made the handle for, okay? Notice how fat it is and how short it is. And it says here, Gurkha Army. It also has a number on it. This is used by the Nepalese police. And as you can see, the blade configuration is more of a leaf, okay? And it's a little shorter, it's an 8-inch, so forth, okay? But it's also a very nice knife. My dad did the handle, he did a great job. That's a rat tail, as well as this is a rat tail, okay? Ex-Gurkha knife. And these are all full tang, all right? So let's see how this works real quick, all right? Like I said, you're going to be going with the grain, all right? With the grain of the thing here, okay? Now, I look at this as a hammer and anvil, okay? I don't even need to use a baton, okay? This is the hammer and anvil technique, see? All right? See how it starts to break off for you? I'm not even batoning this. As a matter of fact, I was telling Doug, and he knows this. When I was a young man, there's your small, starting to get to your small tinder, whatever. When I was a young man, I rarely used a knife for any kind of batoning, okay? Most of my work, we picked it up off the ground, okay? And we just broke it up and whatever. We used an axe for almost everything. Now, if you look at this, there's a focal point right here on this Kukri. It's right here, okay? We don't need to hit it here. We hit it right here, okay? So you hit it there, starting to split, see? All right, and then bang. There you go. All right, that's simple. Okay, that's simple. All right.
This is birch, so it's fairly hard.
It's a nice grain.
It's between a hard and a soft wood.
Yeah. So you know,
nice tight grain.
If we found bigger pieces of wood, like this or whatever, we stick it in the fire and just let the fire eat away at it, okay? And continue to build that tinder and kindling and whatever on the inside. And we just keep putting the bigger logs in. We don't even have to chop them. And as you know, there's a fire lay where you take one long log and you just keep moving it forward as it burns into the fire, okay? So in my experience, I've always picked up, there's plenty of dead trees, plenty of dead wood laying around without me having to baton anything, okay? Also, as you can see, there's you know, nice this is nice birch here, or nice skin. We can skin it just with my wrist. See, wrist. Okay, I'm not wham wham. Okay, it's just nice and wrist. Okay, nice blade, nice and sharp. The other Kukris are made out of Mercedes-Benz spring steel. I think it's what 50. What did I say? 5160. Okay, nice carbon steel. You got to take care of them. Okay, you got to oil these blades. You just can't, you know, throw them around. Any type of object you use in the woods, or whether your life depends on. Doug and I he talks about this all the time. You got to take care of it. You got to oil it. You got to wax it. You have to sharpen it. And you know, same with these leather sheaths. These are made. This is made from a buffalo hide. Okay, very nicely done. If you've seen the way they are made. Okay. And this is my dad made this one with my other sheath. This is pigskin. You can actually see the skin hair where the hairs were in the darn thing. It's very tough. He redid this whole sheath. Okay, if you watch these guys, and you can go to any of the Gurkha videos or the Kukri house videos, watch them make this knives. They got some little skinny guy with an anvil about this big. Okay, he puts things between his feet and his toes, and he bangs out the whole darn thing by hand. Okay, there's no hammer presses, there's no hydraulics, there's no nothing. He does it all by hand. And then another guy makes the wood for the inner lining for the sheath, and he uses a kukri to shape the wood, okay? And another guy takes the buffalo hide, and he just cuts it and strips it, and he dyes it, and this is what you get. I mean, this is made by Condor. This is a manufactured product, but I mean, you know, something like this is all done by hand. All done by hand. The pinning, everything, okay? So, you know, my bet is I like these knives. You know, I really like them. They're sharp. They do the job. We can pick these chips up and we can use them like you would do when you do feathering, okay? And I never heard of feathering either until I read a book about New England and the Northeast, okay? Mostly in the Northeast, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, they were all into this big old bushcrafting camping with tripods and canvas baker tents and big pots and everything like that, and the Canadians too. That's all well and good, it's cool stuff, but Doug and I have been backpackers for many years. We like to go light. So I'm not carrying an axe. And I used to carry an axe with my pack, a light axe. I carry this, okay? This is the knife of choice for me, okay? We're doing a lot of things, all right? I can take a baton to this and split the whole thing with no problems. It splits. I don't have to show it to you. So that being said, I don't have much more to say about the Kukris. So I just want to talk.
I want a baton with one. Can I?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, take one.
Can I use this one?
I don't care. Yeah, sure.
All right, this is the
Condor.
This is the Condor that Alan Kay made famous on Alone. Okay, and here's my opinion with that. If you could take a knife like this into the bush, and this is your primary tool of operation, and you could survive for whatever it was, 6 weeks,
57 days.
57 days with just this knife to cut, chop, trim, slice, and whatnot. If you can use just this tool, you got it going on, all right? Because that's a big honking piece of steel.
And he didn't have to carry it because he was put in one location.
The man that can wield this in a way of finessing is a badass outdoorsman any day of the week, all right? Let's see here.
I like leverage. I like a big baton. Look at that.
I mean, that's
that's like butter.
That's a big knife.
And that's 10 inches. See?
Yeah.
And if you cut with the grain, it's going to split for you.
Exactly.
It just will go. That's the way it grows. Okay. So there you have it. I have one last thing to say before we're going to shoot a couple of videos today. Is this? I watched Alone. I'm sure all you guys have watched it, and it's interesting to me. Alone is like running a marathon, and I ran 3 of them. I know I'm a fat, dumpy guy now. Okay, I'm 62, but when in my prime, before 30-some years of marriage, 3 kids, a divorce, okay, and remarrying again, I was in pretty good shape, and I ran 3 of them. And those marathons were 60% in the head and 40% physical. So the same way with Alone, if you let something get in your head, like that first gentleman who tapped out without even spending 1 night, he hurt himself. He got the bear scat in his head, and that was all there was to it. And also he may have bit off more than he chewed, which he actually said. A lot of these people, as an example, it's wet there. 200 and some odd days a year, it's wet. So why would you bring a down sleeping bag, which is no good when wet weather? And if you were going to bring a down sleeping bag, how come you didn't put a bivy sack over it, like Gore-Tex, or at least plastic, or put a ground cloth down that every backpacker knows how to do? They're not even survivalists, they're just backpackers, okay? That's common camping sense, all right? And then, you know, this guy's afraid of this little stream flooding his campsite because he has no flat land. Well, look around the campsite, buddy. Do you see any flooding going on? Any of the tubers, the plants, or anything all busted up? Well, no. It's probably a perennial stream that stays the way it is all the time. It's a feeder. Who knows? Okay, well, we'll see. All right. You can't let things get in your head, like bears, you know, cougars, that sort of thing. They knew what they were going into. So I don't understand why they're all freaked out once they get there. And I'll tell you something else. Being alone Doug and I are loners, okay?
I've been there. 45 days in the Uwharrie Forest,
okay,
National Forest. It's not fun.
Yeah, we're loners. We like being by ourselves. We're our best friends, and that's what you have to be when you go to a place like that. Not only your skill level has to be good, but you have to enjoy being by yourself, okay? And yeah, were there not nights when I was by myself I didn't think the boogeyman was going to get me? Sure. You know, I had some sleepless nights like the one young lady, and she's pretty cool. I kind of like her. The lady that's kind of, you know, she has a good size on her, I'm being polite here, okay? But she seems like she's tough, and she's there for a spiritual journey, and that's what they all need to go on, is a spiritual journey. You can't rely on society. You have to rely on yourself and the Creator, okay? The only two things that are going to get you through, okay? And I think some of these people may have bit off more than they can chew. So that's just an opinion. Like it or love it. Guys, love you. Thank you very much for tolerating me, and have a great day.
All right, guys, that's the Kukri video, the actually working part of it. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Please like, share, subscribe, all that neat stuff.